afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we today? Good. Well, welcome to Red Cloud. I'm Ashley Olson. I'm the Executive Director here at the National Willa Cather Center, and I want to thank you for joining us for the 69th Annual Willa Cather Spring Conference. This conference, of course, is an extension of our mission to advance Willa Cather's legacy through education, preservation, and the arts. And it's one of many ways that we work to elevate her writing through a living memorial. This year's conference was organized by Tracy Tucker and Rachel Olson, who lead education and curatorial teams here at the National Willa Cather Center, along with academic directors Kelsey Squire of Ohio Dominican University and independent scholar Sarah Clare, both of whom serve on the editorial board of the Willa Cather Review. So Kelsey, Sarah, Tracy, Rachel, do you want to stand up so people know who you are? Thank you. Our conference, of course, wouldn't be possible without the generosity of many supporters. We are grateful to all sponsors who provide financial assistance for this event, especially our novelists, novella, and short story writer level sponsors, Humanities Nebraska, the Cather Project at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, John A. Yost and G. Wade Leake, Anna McCracken and the Ames Writers Collective, and Sydney Green and William Lord. So thank you so much to all sponsors. Just as the 1920s represented the most lucrative and prolific decade of Cather's life, the 2020s have proved to be a fitting time to mark publication centenaries of major works, reread her fiction, and re-examine her life and biography. As we celebrated the centenary of Cather's Pulitzer Prize for One of Ours last year, her statue was unveiled in the National Statuary Hall collection of the U.S. Capitol. The Willa Cather Childhood Home, a National Historic Landmark, underwent its first comprehensive restoration in more than a half century. And Cather's birthplace in the Shenandoah Valley region of Winchester, Virginia, was acquired to ensure that it too can be preserved. Cather's correspondence is more accessible than ever before thanks to the Complete Letters of Willa Cather, a multi-year digital project spearheaded by our partners at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. As we mark Cather's 150th birthday and collectively read and discuss her 1932 collection of short stories, Obscure Destinies, the theme Cather and the readerly imagination is fitting. Beginning at a young age, Cather was a voracious reader. Devouring books was not only foundational to her education, it expanded her worldview and transported her to faraway locales. Years later, she shared book recommendations, of course, with friends and family, as so many of us do, and she was gratified to hear praise from her own readers. We selected Obscure Destinies for this year's featured book because it was heralded as Cather's return to the West, with the Kansas, Nebraska, and Colorado settings for all three stories, evoking the familiar Red Cloud and Webster County of Cather's youth. Tying the book to our conference theme, it is perhaps no surprise that some of the characters she created in Obscure Destinies find themselves occasionally engrossed with the written word. In Neighbor Rosiski, Anton attends night school to learn to read English and entertains the notion of going west after reading Bohemian newspapers that describe the prosperous farming communities to be found there. In Old Mrs. Harris, Grandmother Harris reads aloud to her grandchildren, and the Rosens open their large library to Vicky, a bookworm who is said to respect the masterpieces, but seek out stories that will take hold of her. Cather recalled that the three stories that make up Obscure Destinies were very near to her heart for personal reasons. A reviewer in The Guardian noted that there had been few lovelier contributions to the art of fiction, and that Cather had passed the test to demonstrate her quality as an artist through the tenderness by which she portrayed what he referred to as the world's quieter people, the humble men and women of uneventful lives. Reading and rereading these stories was a really joyful experience for me, as I hope it was for you. If you did not reread them before our impending book discussion, you'll still have time to run downstairs and buy a copy of Collected Stories before the book discussion starts. And of course, momentarily, we'll have an opportunity to discuss the stories in more detail. Before we kick off today's event, I also want to take a moment and recognize that the National Willa Cather Center occupies the homelands of the Pari, the Washitagi, and the Osheti-Sakoween peoples, territory that was also inhabited by the Oto-Missouri Osage and other indigenous peoples following the arrival of American and European settlers. Additionally, we acknowledge that forced servitude and unpaid labor contributed to the society we've all come to know today. Willa Cather's own ancestors included both those who enslaved people and those who sought to free them. Cather struggled with her family's role in Virginia's slaveholding culture during her lifetime, and we continue to wrestle with the ramifications of that injustice today. We are, of course, committed to honoring all of these people and recognizing their tribulations by providing a space for cultural exchange and learning. And this event will no doubt prove to be both enriching and stimulating in its 69th year. So thank you for joining us and being a part of it, and have a great conference. We'll get started with the book discussion at 1 o'clock. Thanks, everyone.